Welcome to the oneself show, where we talk about everything mental health, just things that can help our environment and the neighborhoods that we live in. On this show, we're gonna really be just talking about keeping it real with self. What is keeping it real with self? It's just really simply not lying to yourself about the things that you know was real. Too many times we just tell ourselves one thing, but in fact, it's something totally different. What do I mean by that? We quick to say, oh man, we're never at fault. It's always the other people. Why is that? It's always people doing to us as if we never do wrong to others. When it comes to wrongdoing, it's always others who's doing it to us. But we never point the finger at ourselves and look at what we do. We walk around here as if we're perfect. So that's what I mean about keeping it real with self. I feel like, honestly, if we really keep it real with ourselves, we'll be in a whole lot better predicament. It's one thing to lie to others, but when you lie to yourself, that might be a real issue. That might be a mental illness. Or sometimes it don't be mental illness. Sometimes it just be, we just feel, hey man, we can't do no wrong. Which deep inside we know we could, but it's just easier to point fingers at other people instead of just pointing at ourselves. But I think we need to dig deep into that. Why do we lie to ourselves? I feel like if we be true to ourselves, we can live our truth. Lying to oneself is not living in your truth. And we got to get to the point where we're living in our truth. We really do. We got to get to the point where we're breaking generational curses. We have to break it. We got to stop the cycle. The things that's been done before we got here, we need to be the one who just say, you know what? If it ain't work for this person, if it ain't work for that person, 9 times out of 10, it probably ain't gonna work for me. Or we need to stop repeating the things that haven't been working for us. If it ain't worked this time, if it ain't worked that time, it probably ain't gonna work this time. Because that's the definition of insanity. To do something over and over and over again and expect a different result. I mean, that's really crazy. Sometimes we got to break it down like that. Like it's real. Imagine just 1 plus 1 is 2, but you're trying to get 3, but you just 1 plus 1. Eventually, you just thinking that it's just gonna magically turn into 3. No, it's gonna remain 2, because that's what it is. Sometimes we got to look at things from a different point of view. Sometimes when people give you a different scenario, it causes you to think different. We need to start throwing out scenarios. We need to broaden our way of thinking. We got too many one-track minded people walking around. And it's almost impossible to even really have a conversation with someone who one-track minded. Like, for real. Now imagine trying to really talk to someone who's one track minded. Like, they only see things one way. So really it's kind of like you're just speaking, but you really just wasting your breath. How do we fix that? How do we fix the way we think? We're going to really dig deep into it. We're going to, on this show, the Lawan Sip Show, we're going to try to hit all types of topics. But not just talking about different topics. I like to try to always come up with a solution. It's one thing to talk about a problem, but what's some solutions for the problem? I know one thing, we need to start setting goals. I spoke on this once before a while back. Sometimes we be feeling like we're unaccomplished, and start working on our mental, because we're walking around here feeling like we ain't accomplished anything. We just taking up empty space. But lots of time, it's because we haven't set any goals. How you gonna accomplish something if you ain't setting on goals? And accomplish is simply a goal that's been accomplished. That's what an accomplishment is. But if you never set any goals, you don't have anything you're working towards. So now you're just existing. You're literally just existing, hoping that something gonna come your way. But you're not being proactive towards making things happen for you. That's when things get to changing. You have to be proactive. If you're not being proactive, you're comfortable. You're comfortable. And that's the problem. That's the problem with society. Too many people is just comfortable. As long as they can just get the bare minimal, something to provide food so you can live. Because if you don't eat, you die. A place to go to the washroom, and shit. Honestly, that's about it. That's some of you guys. That's all you want. Just something to eat to keep you alive, and a place to go to the washroom to get rid of the food that you ate. You don't want anything else really besides that. Or if you want it, you're not being proactive towards it. Now imagine that. No, let's just stay on that topic, because that's a serious topic. How can one just want only to eat just to stay alive and don't really want anything more, or not being proactive towards anything more? See, and sometimes that's why we and I don't like to get into politics, but see, sometimes politics do play a role in that. Sometimes if like the government provides something, they put like, it's always an agenda. If they give you anything, it's an agenda behind it. It's gonna be something put into place where you can't make too much. So it provides you. You might get a job, but you don't want to go too high and get kicked out of the program. Whether you're on Section 8, whether you're on just some fixed income, whether you're getting some type of Social Security, it's all designed to keep you at poverty level. It ain't designed so you can be rich, that's for sure. It's designed to keep you at the bare minimum level while the rest of the world just flourish. Why is that? I don't know. But it's something we really need to dig deep into. I'm always thinking. One thing about me, man, I'd have traveled the world. Matter of fact, as of I got a trip coming up on my B-Day this July 28th. I'm going to go to Turkey. I'll be in Istanbul, so the Middle East. But that's set on two continents, Europe and Asia. I've been in Europe when I went to Paris, but I'm gonna go to the Asia side, and then after that, I will only need two more continents to have been to every livable continent on planet Earth, and that'll just be South America and Australia next. Then I will have been everywhere. And by me traveling, it's just I like to see how other people live. I like to go to different neighborhoods and just get an understanding how the government work, because it's deep. But here in America, I just observe a lot of stuff. Now I know sometimes it's like people do want better for themselves. They don't want to be, you know what I'm saying, stuck at a poverty level, but to want and not be proactive is almost like not wanting. Because I could want to go to space, but I would have to start working towards that. I could want a bigger house. I could want a bigger house. And yeah, I own my house, but I can want to own a bigger house. I would have to do something proactive to start working towards that. I can't just want something and then just be comfortable with everything being the same, not doing anything different, but I just want a bigger house. I mean, do that make sense to you? Imagine that. You want something, but you're not gonna do anything proactive towards the thing you want. You want it. You want it to happen for you. You want it to come land in your lap, and that'll be the way you'll receive it. But as far as working towards it or being proactive, taking steps towards the goals you want, you're not doing any of that. Why is that? Well, because we just got comfortable with whatever state of being we're at. We're comfortable. We're comfortable with ourselves. And we tell ourselves, hey, this not too bad. I'm able to eat, use the washroom, get water, just the essentials of life. And you okay with just the essentials of life. And you age, you have nothing to lead to your offspring, and they have to deal with growing up with whatever you left for them. And sometimes it's absolutely nothing. So they starting at ground zero. While other cultures, it's leaving kids with all type of assets, property, stocks. I mean, everything. The only thing we leave our individuals or loved ones with is debt. So not only are we not going to put them in a good position when we leave this earth, we put them in a worse position because we leave this earth and leave them with debt to have to pay for funerals because lots of times we don't even have life insurance. Why? Because we okay with just the bare minimal. Food to keep us alive and a place to go use the washroom and a place to maybe lay down, a bed. It's just that's why I say it's different levels of just low life. And not all, like I say, some people are in positions where it's disabilities. I'm talking about those who's well and able to work and just refuse not to. Because I get it. Some it's just like really have a disability, whether you can't walk, whether you know what I'm saying, you was working and you got crippled or some way, and some got mental illnesses. And that's preventing you from working. But then if you have mental illness, then you have to think about bringing kids into the world too. Because sometimes, it's like if the state say they deem you to not be capable of working, sometimes you have to ask yourself, why is you out here having sex? See, that's the serious talk. Sometimes, we don't want to talk about that. See, we're smart in that area. I mean, you know how to do that. But why is that? Because that's nothing but just laying down, huh? Just have a lot of kids, get some whatever little check you can get, and that be the end of that. No, we got to do better. We just have to do better as a society. We have to do better as a society. And then sometimes we be striving for things, and sometimes we just give up too fast, way too fast. If it don't work within the first 2-3 weeks, we give up. It's like we want things instantaneously. Why is that? We're not willing to work hard. We just want to receive the prize as soon as we put the work in. We might give it a week or two, sometimes even a month, but we lose the enthusiasm immediately. That's why I came up with a saying: start when the fire burns within, because once it's extinguished, it may never reignite again. That's just a saying I came up with. I don't know, it was just in my own spirit, and I just, you know, always use that saying. But I'm going to leave you with that saying. Always start once the fire burns within, because once it's extinguished, it might never reignite again. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Lawan Sip Show. Be blessed.